So next we have a group of friends that go out in the middle of rural Texas to make a porno, only to find out that there is something suspicious going on with the tenants owning the bar. Now, A24 has been having one hell of a year this year. They released this film, they released Everything Everywhere All at Once, Marcel the Shell. This time we have Pearl coming out in a couple of days, and they also had Bodies just recently. And while I was not the biggest fan of this film, I appreciate that there are some things about this film that I liked. This was the first time that I watched the film since it came out in theaters back in March, and when I first saw it, I was not interested at all. I had zero interest in what was going on, and I was not a fan of the characters. I was a fan of the things the characters were doing, but everything else around it was not likable. So you have Discount Matthew McConaughey, Mia Goth, Brittany Snow, Jenna Ortega, Kid Cudi, and some other guy. And for the most part, I was not a fan of the characters. The dialogue was doing nothing for me. But to the halfway point where things start to get batshit crazy with the tenants, and find out that Mia Goth is wearing heavy makeup to play Pearl in this film, which leads into the prequel Pearl. For the most part, the characters in this film, to me, were completely unlikable. I was not a fan of any of these characters. There are some great moments of tension and scares. They did a really good job of putting that heavy makeup on Mia Goth to play older Pearl. But for the most part, it was one of those films that I just really did not like to. This was not a film that I really enjoyed, and seeing how it was a film that I haven't seen since I saw it in theaters back in March, this was a film that I just have no interest in rewatching ever again. Even though this film has been beloved by a lot of people, some of it consider it maybe their best horror film of the year. For me personally, it was not my cup of tea. It did not work for me, but I do know that a lot of people really enjoy this film for what this film is, and seeing how we have a planned trilogy already with this one, Pearl, and Maxine, I am really intrigued to see where this franchise goes, because I believe this is the first time that A24 has ever had a trilogy, so it's going to be very interesting and fascinating. To a degree, there are some moments where the cinematography is looking great, even the shades of colors that they use in this film. Some of the performances in this film are some things that I really did enjoy, just the dialogue and the way that these characters are portrayed. I wasn't the biggest fan of, and that's what really got me really bored of watching this movie up until the point where things get batshit crazy. We find out different things, and I'm really intrigued to see what they do with Pearl. But for me personally, it was not a cup of tea, but I do know that there are some people that really enjoy this. So for me personally, this film is a stream it. Even though I was not a fan of it, I know that a lot of people have great thoughts about this film. A lot of people really do enjoy it, but I do appreciate the fact that there are some great scares in this film. The cinematography looks good, and I think for the most part, Ty West does a really good job of directing this film to a degree. But it's just a personal, for me personally, the characters are people that I'm not really interested in. I could not get behind them, even though what they're doing is one of my favorite things in the world. But those are my thoughts on X. But what are your thoughts on X? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Go ahead and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this video, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on more reviews. Click that bell notification so you get notified every single time that a video pops up. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side.